Hey everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to do something a little bit different for you guys. We're going to make almond biscotti. This is a great little accompaniment to anybody's dessert table. So we have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. This is pretty simple when it all comes together. There's a couple of steps involved in it, but I'll take you through it. Nothing to worry about. So we got 3 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. To this we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to add 2 1/8 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to add 2 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar. Get that out of the way. What you want to do with the dry ingredients is you want to give them a little bit of a mix just so that everything gets incorporated from the get-go. And then from here, we're going to incorporate 7 tablespoons of softened butter. So once this goes in, we're just going to kind of break it apart with our fingers, or between our fingers, and you'll see how all that comes together. So into the flour, basically just squeezing between our fingers, incorporating the butter into the flour. So you don't want any big pieces of butter, and that's why you want to use your fingers to break them up into small pieces. And then as we're mixing, this will incorporate later on as well, but just to get things started. So not nearly big pieces of butter, and just pretty well incorporated. Okay, from here, we just need to add, I have 4 whole eggs and 3 egg yolks. So that just needs to be whipped up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And all of that goes back into the flour mixture. Oh, and one other thing I did forget. You have 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. That goes in as well. And that's fine to do at any point. So just using a rubber spatula, just incorporate the eggs into the flour, and then eventually we'll just work it with our hands as well. Okay, so I've taken the mixture that's now turning into a little bit of a dough now, and I've turned it onto a very well-floured cutting board. To this, and this has not been incorporated yet, but to this, we're going to add about 2 cups of oven roasted whole almonds. Very easy to do, just grab your almonds, put them on a sheet tray, throw them into a 350 degree oven for about 10 minutes, and they get nice and toasted and roasted. So now all you're going to do is just incorporate all of these almonds into the dough. I use a bench scraper, it's called, just to try to help me out a little bit. So basically you're just kneading and pushing and incorporating into the dough. Some people put chopped almonds in. You can do that as well. I just like the whole almonds, and you'll see when we start cutting these into biscottis how nice they look. Okay, so now that we got all the almonds incorporated into the dough, we have a nice fluffy soft dough. You just want to take this and basically cut it in half, and what you're going to do is you're going to make 2 loaves out of this initially, and then a couple more steps involved, and we're pretty much done. So basically what you want to do is form this into a nice log, an even log. I'll make them about, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches wide. By as far as they'll go, probably about an inch, I don't know, maybe an inch high. And kind of cut off the ends a little bit, which is fine. I have a nice baking sheet that's lined with parchment paper. Just a little bit of dusting of flour on there, just to keep things loose. And what I'll do is I'll just take this off my board and straight onto the. So again, once it's on the pan, you just want to give it a little bit of a shaking. That's all. And that one's good to go. Okay, so we got the 2 logs shaped onto the baking pan lined with parchment. Just spread them out. I'm saying about an inch, maybe it's not even quite an inch thick, and as long as they'll go, and maybe it's about 2 inches wide. From here, what you want to do is grab another egg yolk, and you can actually loosen this up with a slight drop of water. So the egg, oops, the egg yolk, you just want to brush the whole length. What this is do is put a really nice, beautiful, shiny kind of a crust on it. Okay. And that's all she wrote. So this is going in a 350-degree oven for about 35 minutes. And this is the first baking. So you have a biscotti, it's baked twice. So you'll see how that plays out in a couple minutes. Okay, so the biscottis are out of the oven. This is what they look like when they come out. They do spread a little bit, nice and golden brown. From here, you let them cool off a bit, just so that you can handle them a little more. And then all you're gonna do, one at a time, with a nice serrated knife, you're just going to do slices. A nice sawing action, maybe about a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay, so and once you've gotten all of the logs sliced, what you want to do now is you're going to turn down the oven to 325 degrees, and this is where you do the second baking. So all you need to do is take each slice and then just position them, line them up on the tray. So these are actually going to be baked 2 more times, 1 on each side. Okay, so now that you got the biscottis all nice and sliced up and back on the tray again, we're going to put them back into the oven, 325-degree oven, roughly anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. When that's done, we're going to flip them over, put them back in again. Okay, so the biscottis are back out of the oven after their second baking. Actually, it's their third baking, but their second baking. From here, all you want to do really is take them off the hot tray and get them on a cooling rack and let them cool down. So there you go. Beautiful almond biscottis. Relatively easy to make. I don't think it was that big of a deal once you get the knack of it. And you're going to really enjoy these. So again, I'm not going to tell you how to eat, but let me paint a little picture for you. So dinner is done, the dishes are being put away, you have a little bit of wine left in your glass, the biscottis have come to the table just before your other dessert maybe. Grab yourself a biscotti, grab yourself whatever leftover wine you might have, and give yourself a dunk. You've never had anything quite like this. Believe me, you gotta try it. So again, from our kitchen, our family, to your families, hope you enjoy. Everyone stay healthy, stay well. Hope to see you soon at Token Inc.